Good afternoon, BookTube, YouTube. This is Johnny. I know, I'm going to say it. I'm going to make a video. It's been 3 or 4 days, and I was going to make a video. Today is a Saturday here in West Michigan. It is 3:06 in the afternoon. We can hear thunder outside. We're hoping it'll rain some more. It rained today, and yeah, it's a Saturday. And I'm down the lower level. I was going to make a video tomorrow, which is Sunday, because as I've said in my past videos, my wife is gone in the mornings to go to church, and I can sit in the living room, and not the living room, in the dining room, and there's a big table, and I can put books around me and the camera. But I decided what I would do. I was going to show you Sunday the books I got with my Amazon gift cards, but I thought what I would do is not show you thrift store books. I haven't been to thrift stores in a couple weeks because I had COVID for a week, but I have gone to the Book Nook, which is our local library used bookstore where I've been volunteering for about 10 years, and I do it on Mondays from 10 to 1 and Fridays from 10 to 1. And when I go there, I see what has been donated in the back room, and I go through the boxes or the bags or whatever, and then I put it aside, and then I ask how much they're going to cost. And they're just, I think paperbacks are $1.50, hardbacks are $2. Some books are more if they're rare. Sometimes I spend $10 for a book. $7, but most of the time I spend $1.50 for a paperback and $2 for a hardback. And sometimes the books are going to be thrown away because it's damaged or mildewed, or it's been underlined, or it's nobody wants it, and I'll take it because I tend to read a lot of books that nobody else reads. It's just how it is. So I thought what I'd do is show you, today is Saturday. Yesterday I volunteered at the Book Nook, and then last Monday I volunteered at the Book Nook, and I'll show you those books. Last Monday, not this coming Monday, but last Monday, I picked up at the Book Nook J.G. Ballard's High Rise, his novel. It has Martin Amis back here. Ingenious High Rise is intense and vivid bestiary which lingers unsettlingly in the mind. There has a little blurb back here. Within the concealing walls of an elegant 40-story tower block, the affluent tenants are hell-bent on an orgy of destruction. Cocktail parties degenerate into marauding attacks on enemy floors, and once the luxurious amenities become an arena for riots and technological mayhem. Now, I collect the works of J.G. Ballard, and I have a number of them in the back room in a different stack. So I collect them. He's written a lot of books, and I'm always looking for them. And I didn't have this one. I wasn't sure when I saw it in a box at the Book Nook, but I grabbed it. If I buy it, if I have it, I take it back to the Book Nook. So I didn't have this one. As you all know, I collect memoirs, autobiographies. I collect biographies, and I came across this memoir at the Book Nook last Monday, "The Beneficiary: Fortune, Misfortune, and the Story of My Father" by Janny Scott. And this, I look in the back here, the New York Times Book Review, and a fascinating and judicious book, the Wall Street Journal. The story of Jenny Shaw Scott tales could be the plot on an Edith Wharton or Henry James novel. And that sold me right away. As you all know, Edith Wharton and Henry James are some of my favorite writers. Her prose, too, has the Gilded Age feel, decadence, decay, and drink waft gorgeously off the pages. yet the study of plumage is also timely. So it looked really interesting, and so I picked it up, The Beneficiary. This was like a nature travel book. It's like a nature writing, but it's called Surfacing by Kathleen Jamie, and she's Scottish. It says here, in this remarkable blend of memoir, cultural history, and travelogue, Kathleen Jamie, quote, the leading Scottish poet of her generation, quoting the Sunday Times, turns the singular gaze to the coast of Alaska and beyond. In Surfacing, she considers how a changing landscape can unearth unexpected connections across time and space. Then she goes on. So it looks pretty interesting. It was only $1.50. Plus, it was recommended by John Berger, and I collect his writings. John Berger. He says a sorceress of the essay form. So I picked it up. And then I picked this, Mary, who runs the book Nook, said, hey, Johnny, you want to buy this book? And I'll cost you $1. It's on book collecting. It's written by a Seumas. Stewart owns and operates an antiquarian book business in Old Codswold town of Chipping Campden in Gloucestershire, England. This is an older book. You can tell the cover looks like a 70s cover, especially that haircut. It was 1973. Book Collecting, A Beginner's Guide by Seumas Stewart. So I said, sure, I'll buy it for $1 for my books collection. And then this book was in a box, and I asked Mary, who runs it, how much you want for it. It's by Brandeis. He was a very famous Supreme Court judge. I read about him, I just read about him in this book. I just showed you this book. I just showed you this book. I showed you The Hour of Fate, Theodore Roosevelt, J.P. Morgan, The Battle of Transforming American Capitalism. He's mentioned in here. The Supreme Court Justice Brandeis. And so when you read about a biography of a Supreme Court Justice, you read American history, what was going on. And so it cost me $1. It cost me $1. I dropped my bookmarkers. My bookmarkers, I use index cards, as you all know. I use index cards. So I picked up that biography on Brandeis. And then I picked up this book at the Book Nook. It's called Nothing But You, Love Stories from the New Yorker, edited by Roger Angell. He was an editor for I'm not sure if he is today, an editor at the New Yorker magazine. And it's just short stories. And as I've looked at it, and the short stories in it, a lot of these people I collect their writings, like John Cheever. I have a huge John Cheever collection. There's a short story by him. Alice Munro, I have a huge collection of her writings. John Updike, John O'Hare, I have a huge John O'Hare collection. There is Ann Beatty, which I collect all her writings, and Edith O'Brien, which I collect, William Trevor. So basically, the short stories in this, the writers of these short stories, I have their writings, and I like reading their short stories and their novels and their essays and criticism. And then this is a book that cost me $10. And I looked at it and I thought, well, $10, but then I thought I would regret it if I didn't buy it. It's called The Art of the printed book from 1455 to 1955. And this was published by the Pierpont Morgan Library. And it's reason why there's an essay in here by Joseph Blumenthal. I think he was a very famous antiquarian book seller, collector. But I like it's has all these photos of books throughout from the 1455 to 1955. I don't know. It's just, if you're a bibliophile, you love books, you just a book like this you just can't pass up. It's just, you just can't. You regret it if you don't. And so I wanted it for my book collection, so that's why I bought it. So those are the ones I bought last Monday. These are the ones I bought yesterday. I bought Alan Watts, In My Own Way, an autobiography. You know I collect Alan Watts. As you know, when I was in high school in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, I used to listen to Alan Watts on the radio. And yeah, I'm an evangelical, Calvinist, conservative, Bible-believing Christian, but I've always been interested in Alan Watts, and so I picked this up. Then there was yesterday this really old, they're going to throw this away. This is by Jack London, and this is his short stories, Love of Life and Other Stories. This was published in 1911. It's kind of beat up, but I have a large Jack London collection, his novels, his stories, biographies, and I just like him. It's just something I just collect. He has his Jack London, so I picked that up. This is French decadent literature. It was published in 1898, and this is a private printing of this book. I didn't know anything about it, but it looked interesting, and it cost me $2. Aphrodite, ancient matters, like you have matters. No, what's the word? You have manners. Translated into the English from the French by Pierre Louis. I can't pronounce that either, but anyway, this is what this is. It's a private printing. I looked it up. You can get this anywhere. It's not that expensive. Then I have Wittgenstein, Uncertainty. I just collect him because I have his biography and other writings. He was a philosopher, a linguist, and some would say that he was a poet. But I just find, I like language, I like words, and when I read this, I don't know what I'm reading, but it puts my mind in a certain kind of space, so I read him. It was only $1.50. Then I found a play by the Ferengeti, who started City Lights Bookstore in San Francisco. He published Allen Ginsberg's Howl, which made City Lights Bookstore famous. And this is a play that he wrote. This is 3 plays. It's called Unfair Arguments with Existence. It was published by, this is a New Direction. I thought it was a City Lights, but it's a New Directions publisher. Anyway, I picked it up from my Ferengeti collection, Beat collection. And then I found a novel by Rudyard Kipling, The Light That Failed. This is really old too. I collect Kipling. This is published in 1941, The Light That Failed. And then I picked up The 3 Ways of Asian Wisdom, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Zen, The Significance in the West by Nancy Wilson Ross. I'm interested in Eastern religions, Buddhism, Hindu, Zen. But I like this book because I like the illustrations in it, in the back, and it was only $1.50. And I'm always reading about Zen or Hinduism or Buddhism, and I wanted to read about its significance in the West. So I picked this up from my Asian collection. And then I picked up the Occult History by Colin Wilson. I already have this in hardback, but I like this paperback edition because of the cover. Because my hardback, let me get it over here. This is the hardback of the Occult. See, it's very plain, but this is very psychedelic. And so I kind of liked it. And plus I can carry it around and read it. And I read that, I've been reading this mostly Friday and today, the Occult. You can see I'm halfway through it. It's about 600 pages. I really find it interesting. And then at the Book Nook, I found this little book from I think this was published in, I think 1890s, the Green Fairy book by Andrew Lang. And there's a whole series of these. They each have a color. You have the Green Fairy book, the Black Fairy book, the Yellow Fairy book, and they're like stories about fairies, like it's a children's. And I read this. These are stories taken from Spain and China, but there's a whole series. But I like the illustrations. They're kind of like from the 1890s kind of period. The illustrations, like Beardsley. You know what I'm saying? I really like this. It's kind of beat up, but I don't know. It's kind of, I like the cover. I like books like this. This is a novel by an Italian writer I never heard of, but I like these Signet Classics. And this one's by Ezeno Solan, Bread and Wine, translated out of the Italian by Harvey Ferguson II. Never heard of him, this writer, but I don't know. I thought I'd give it a try. Plus, I like the Signet Classics. This is a book on Atlantis Rising, about this is folklore. Amazing book that gives proof of the super race that came before man, the subterranean civilization of the inner earth that still may exist, the truth about the mighty empire of Atlantis and its important meaning to us today. This is by Brad Steiger, Atlantis Rising. This is a biography on the esoteric kind of teacher, thinker, Gundog by Louis Paulwils. This is all beat up. They're going to throw it away. And I just been reading about him in the book on the occult by Colin Wilson. Just read about him. So I grabbed it before it got dumped into the garbage. This is Going Crazy, R.D. Lang and Beyond, AntiPsychiatry, Communal Therapy, Lay Therapy, Revolutionary Marxian Therapy, and more. This is introduction and edited by Hedrick M. Rukenbeck. I'm kind of interested in psychology, psychiatry. R.D. Lang, he was kind of popular when I was a young man, and so if I see his books or something related to him, or like something by Jung or Freud, but anybody like this, I just grab it. And then I got this yesterday at the Book Nook, The History of the Mind, Evolution, The Battle of Consciousness by Nicholas Humphrey. I like books on consciousness or super consciousness or inner consciousness or higher consciousness, and I don't know. It was recommended by Daniel Dennett back here in the back. I have his other books, Consciousness Explained. I have other books by Dennis Dennett, who's on the cover there. I have books by him down there. So I just grabbed it. I never heard of it, but it was $2. I bought it. And then I found in that box another book by Colin Wilson. This is when he was younger, back in the 50s. He did a lot of books, but this one's called Mysteries, Investigation into the Occult, the Paranormal, and the Supernatural by Colin Wilson. You know, I'm reading also his book, The Outsider, which is upstairs, I think. Anyway, I've been reading that. So I got another book by Colin Wilson. So that's what I got at the Book Nook last Monday and yesterday, Friday. And I have some thrift store books I bought a couple of weeks ago. I got books from Amazon that I bought with my Amazon gift card. As you know, last Sunday was my 70th birthday. Thank you for all the birthdays. Thank you for all the blessings. Thank you for all the well wishes. Thank you for comments. Thank you. Just, you know, one thing, I appreciate all my subscribers. I don't take you all for granted. It's very affirming to me that when you comment and you say you appreciate my videos, I really take that to heart. I don't take that lightly because you all know I'm kind of a loner, kind of insecure. I'm kind of freaked out most of the time. But like I said, as a Christian, the Lord gives me grace. I keep going, running the race and looking for that crown of glory and looking for that final day, the resurrection from the dead, going to eternal state, the new creation, the end of this present age and going to eternal state. That's what I look forward to. So yeah, today is Saturday. Like I said, I've been reading primarily, well, I have been reading Jack Kerouac, The Dharma Bums. I usually read that around my birthday every year. I'm at the last couple of pages of The Dharma Bums by Jack Kerouac. I finished reading The Dark Night, a mystical treatise by St. John of the Cross. I finished that the other night. And I've been reading The Occult. And I also been reading Dorothy Lessing, The Summer Before Dark. I read this at night before I go to bed. And I also been reading pretty consistently now Peseta, a biography by Richard Zenith. So I've been kind of reading these at night. And in the mornings, as you know, in the mornings for devotions, I read the Reformation commentary on 2 Corinthians, and I read Dionysian Carthusian's commentary on the Psalms, and I read something else. I can't remember what else I read. Anyway, I've been reading those in the mornings. So I'm more reading. Somebody mentioned in a BookTube video Dorothy Lessing, and I have a big shelf of her books, but I never read her, so I started reading this. So I've been reading this off and on this week. Really enjoying the biography on Peseta, even though it's kind of exhaustive. I've read over 300 pages, and he's only 21 years old. Anyway, I hope you had a good week, that you have a good new week. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for being out there, and I'll show those Amazon books. They're not that many. It's if I get 4 or 5 I've got with those gift cards. I'm still waiting for my New York Review books, those 2 on that writer I mentioned the other day. So yeah, Monday I go to the Book Nook, and I don't know what will be there. You never know when you go to the Book Nook what you're going to find. So I'll sign off. Hope you're all doing well. Stay safe, and until next time, bye.